Now with Boston, between them and Cleveland, they're the clear favorites in the East. Tatum right now, 4th in MVP voting. Seems pretty locked in there behind Jokic, SGA, and Giannis. I'd imagine for him, like you wrote a story about him, you've been training him since he was like, junior high or something like that. But you trained him in high school. You had a story in there about how he was arrogant at that time. I would imagine somebody with the edge he plays with, that being 4th in MVP still has a little chip on his shoulder, like wanting to be even better than that. Is that fair to say with Tatum?
It was pretty cool. So the other night, 2 nights ago, we had a book signing event in Boston. And at the event, we were going back and forth. And, a lot of people can't really crack Jayson. You know what I mean? Like, he's very media trained and he's very just nonchalant. And
he's very boring.
People say that, but it's like he's actually an unbelievable person. Like anybody that's in his inner circle, if you spend time around him, people are like,
he's great.
Like, he's the coolest dude ever. And I'm like...
But with the media, he's boring.
Of course. Yes. You know what I mean? But it's because you guys all like to hate on him. And you guys don't give him MVPs when he leads a team in points, rebounds, and assists.
Not
talking about this year. I'm talking about the finals.
Yeah.
But
he should have won finals.
You know what I mean?
MVP,
so
it's
to
just
me...
because he didn't score, he got it.
The hate is just... It's something that's funny. But Jayson said something. He said, when I won the championship, everyone thought I was just going to put a middle finger up and start basically revealing all of these, posts and all these things that I've saved over the year. He's like, what I realized is I don't play for the haters. I don't play to prove people wrong. I play to prove all my supporters and all the people that have basically helped me and been there for me all along. I play for them. I prove them right. And I thought that was such a powerful statement that he said in front of the crowd there at the book signing, because I was like, that's such a good way to look at it. Everyone wants him just to say F the world. Everyone wants him to go out on this, oh, you guys didn't play me at USA? Okay, chip on my shoulder. And he's like, dude, all I care about is hanging banners. I'm a 26-year-old that has a first ballot Hall of Fame resume, on my way to getting another first-team All-NBA, just because it's going to be stacking up. We have a great chance to win another championship. At the end of my career, you're going to look up and go, oh my God, Jayson Tatum was one of the best players that ever played the game. And so I don't think that, obviously he knows where he is. He knows there's only a few players that can look him in his eye when he's out there playing. He also knows what happens when it's crunch time. When you're out there when it matters in the playoffs, he's proven time and time again what he can do in big moments. You know what I mean? Whether that's going into Milwaukee Game 6 and hanging 46 on the Bucks and then beat him in Game 7. Whether that's flipping the switch in Game 6 against Philly, having that fourth quarter that he had and then going and dropping 51. In the play, whether that's flashback even farther, and there was a play-in game, the first original play-in game against Washington, and he scores 50 in the play-in game. Then he has a 30-point, almost triple-double to close out the finals. He's like, yo, the evidence says I'm a really good basketball player. I don't care what the haters say. I don't care what the media says. I don't care if you guys like my personality. I don't think if you think I'm boring, he's not going to go out there and flip people off. He's not going to go out there and talk shit publicly, but what he's going to do is he's going to back up everything that he does on the court. And so I think the thing is, if Jayson was on a different team, I think he'd be in the MVP conversation every year. I think if Jayson was on a bad team, he'd win the scoring title every year. But Jayson is all about hanging banners in Boston. And I think that, now that he's got one, it's going to be interesting to see how many more he can win. But that's his only focus. And I know that people are like, there's got to be something inside that says man, F this guy. I'm telling you, it's not. He really does. He's like, listen, Kobe Bryant won 1 MVP. Shaquille O'Neal won 1 MVP. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, if I'm this good and I'm hanging up banners and I'm winning championships and eventually they're going to give me one.
Is this different than he was when he was younger in high school?
In a weird way, in the book, I talk about his junior year in high school. He's in the Final Four and they, they're up by, 15 points. And the last 12 minutes of the game, he only attempted 1 shot. They end up losing the game. The other team came back and won. And I remember after that game, his mom walked over to me and was like, I don't care what you got to do. Make him arrogant. Do not ever let him be that passive. And, I remember that senior year, he averaged 35 points a game in the state playoffs and then outscored the other team in the state championship in the first half. It was 27 Jayson, 26 the other team. And I remember that's when he flipped that switch of okay, as long as I have the ball in my hands, we're good. Doesn't matter what team I'm on. Then in Duke, same thing. You go with Duke at the beginning.
Embracing a healthy arrogance.
A healthy arrogance. And he knows when he's got to turn it on. And he also knows that sometimes there's a time where you can lose the battle to win the war. And what I mean by that is right now, one of the biggest conversations around Celtic blog world, Celtic X world is Jayson's usage. Because I think they're like 51-3 when his usage is at 33% or above, and so everyone in the Celtics world is going
more Tatum. More
Tatum equals more wins. There's a direct correlation. Obviously, Joe and anybody that's around Celtics world is like, you guys understand usage is, there's more than just having the ball in your hands. That, because it's not like touches changes. It's really like him shooting more and having more assists and more whatever. But Jayson understands. He's like, listen, the reason we're really good is because we have a great team. And so there are nights where I do feel like I deserve the ball more. And I do feel like if I had the ball more, we'd have a better chance at winning. But I can't lose my teammates. I need my teammates to win. And so I think that the thing that people hate about him is we live in a world where, fans are actually more fans of individuals than they are teams a lot of times.
Oh, yeah.
And so they just want Jayson to be selfish. And he's like, listen, sometimes the most selfish thing to do is to go put yourself before your team. And, I think that that's what you're seeing now is, trust me, there's some nights where I'll get a FaceTime and like, you know what I mean? Like, if I would have had the rock more, we would have won. But ultimately, he knows he needs the rock in the playoffs. He needs his teammates in the playoffs. And I know it sounds corny. I know it sounds boring. But that's all he cares about is winning championships.